Hi everyone, the Moogle Tombstone event is back. Now I said I don't do news videos, and I meant that. After all, there are plenty of people on YouTube that will give you a quick overview of this. However, what I will be doing here is ranking the rewards, what you should prioritize, and what you should not be wasting your MogTomes on. By the way, MogTome is just a short way of saying regular tombstones of whatever from the Moogle Treasure Trove event. And of course, I will be explaining why. Let's get started. Alright, so first we've got the Namazu Earring, which is the 100 tome glamour item. Every MogTome event has a glamour item that costs 100 MogTomes and is only available via the event. This is the 5th Moogle Treasure Trove event, and the first time that the special glamour item has been repeated. This gives me hope that the other 3 special items will appear in future events, for those of you who have missed them. But unless you want to wait 2 years for this one to maybe appear yet again, we still don't know if it will show up a 3rd time, I would recommend making this a priority. We also have the Falcon Ignition Key, which is to get the Falcon mount. This was originally a login event during Stormblood, and has only been back once before during the 2nd Moogle event. The original login event, as far as we know, is never coming back, so the MogTome event is the only way to get it. Absolutely grab this. Next up, we have a section for things that are normally quite a bit of a pain in the butt to get. So first we've got the Tyrannosaurus Orange, which comes from Eureka Animos lockboxes. Some people are very lucky, while others are not so. For example, it took me about 3,000 lockboxes. It's estimated, but it was really high up. If you're a person only doing one or none of the Eureka weapons, you should absolutely go for this. But if you are planning on doing every single Animos relic, I suppose you don't have to. Next up we have the Magitek Predator mount, which comes from the dungeon Al Amigo. Unlike dungeon minions, this mount is not tradable, which means the only way to get this normally is to farm the dungeon over and over. I would recommend grabbing this. We also have the Ultima Horns, an existing glamour item. You normally get it by doing the Ultima Online Fate in Aziz's Law, which is a special fate with a very long timer between respawns, like Udin or Behemoth, and you're not guaranteed it will spawn at a good time for you, or that enough people will show up when it does spawn. As such, this feels a lot like RNG. MogTome is the better way to farm this if you really want this glam. We also have the Nightmare Whistle. To be honest, it doesn't necessarily belong on this section. Nightmare is easy to farm. You should be able to solo Garuda, Ifrit, or Titan Extreme easily, or bring 1 or 2 friends who already have Nightmare. However, Nightmare's RNG can be a huge pain, so I can't blame anyone who would rather buy it from the event. Next up are items you can actually get from the market board, but they might be expensive, so you might as well consider, especially if you're poor or cheap, getting them from the event instead. So first up we've got Decision, which is the Orchestrion found in Deltascape V4. To check if you already have it, you can go to Raids 1, number 49. Queuing for specific gold raids can lead to long waits, and there's also a good bit of RNG, which can make the Orchestrions very expensive. You could try to unsync it, because you can get it for normal, but honestly, it might be easier to just do the MogTome event. Then we have a few minions. Iron Dwarf is a crafted minion, and some of the materials are annoying to get, which can make this minion a bit expensive. For only 7 MogTomes, I would say go for it if you don't already have it. Salt and Pepper Seal comes from the dungeon, the Drowned City of Scala, and you can also win it from Bosnia lockboxes. It should not be as expensive as some of the other things on this list, but both of those options do require RNG. I would say check the price on the market board first. If it's too expensive for your taste, 7 MogTomes it's pretty fast to get. Then last we have the Mariner Cotton Cloth. This is used to craft a few items, and yeah, normally it goes for a decent amount. Obviously that changes per world and server, and given that people are going to be farming this, the prices will drop quite a bit, at least immediately, but they should eventually go back up. If you want to save yourself some gil, or if you want to make money later, it's a pretty decent option. Next up is the Might As Well section. They're the triple try cards. They're only 7 MogTomes, so they're pretty fast to farm via the event. If you don't have any of these, just get them. Fat Chocobo is card number 72, the Griffin is number 163, and Zervin is number 166. So, that takes care of all the things that I think are worth prioritizing. But what about after? Once you're done, these are the things you can farm. You can of course go for anything from the Save That Guild section to sell in the future. But you can also get the MGP card. It's 50,000 MGP. This is a fantastic way to farm MGP while leveling, working on achievements, anything but actually doing the gold saucer. You should definitely go for this. Now you're probably thinking, what about the other items? And I know some people would disagree with me, but let me explain why. Blissful Kamui comes from Lakshmi. Lakshmi is very easy to farm. Okay, you put a party finder, anybody can join, doesn't matter what your comp is, you can make it an all-tank mount farm, and you will still defeat it before the ads, assuming people don't completely suck, but if they have decent gear, that should still happen. You should be able to beat it before ads. That means nobody really has to know mechanics. It's very easy. If you really, really, really hate Party Finder, I guess sure, you can go for this, but in my personal opinion, it's a waste. You could be working on tech mount farms while earning this. And then we have the Beast Tribe mounts, right? The Drakehorn, Laurel Gubu, Elfthorn, Bomb Palanquin, Dire Wolf Whistle, and we also have some Beast Tribe Orchestrion rules, the Smolder and Coming Home. Why do I not recommend these? Well, first of all, most of these are from the Aroma-born Beast Tribes, and people say, those suck. If you're 80, you're going to do those in 2 minutes per quest. I know, because I was doing them for the sake of getting a few items I didn't want to spend poetics on, the unidentified ore and stuff. The only one that might maybe take longer is when you have a fate to do, than if it's not already up. You can just ignore those, okay? But there are plenty of other rewards from these Beast Tribes, whether they're emotes or glam or whatever, that so far have not shown up in the MogTome events. So you're going to do those anyway. At some point, you will do them. You might as well get these the normal way. Especially because they're kind of expensive. If they were just 7, then maybe, but for the amount of time you'd be spending, you might as well do your 6 minutes a day of Beast Tribes, So that's why. And then Gofaxi and Markab, those come from doing Aroma-born Extremes, Titan, and Ramu. Just go solo them. Seriously, you can solo them. Go ahead. If you're really having trouble, go duo them. You'll get them pretty quickly. And then there's the riding maps. They're not worth it. Riding maps only apply for when you are on the ground on a mount. The moment you fly, you already have max speed. Now in Aroma-born, this used to be kind of worth it because you couldn't fly. But now they made it so you can. And some people say, well, what about new players? Don't you want them to go faster during Aroma-born areas? You get flying once you finish Aroma-born Part 1. Okay, Praetorium. A lot of the walking around is done after that. So you don't really need it. Now for before that, well, first of all, that player is probably not watching this video because they're extremely new, and they're probably not even going to do the MogTome event. But let's say you know somebody, right? And you're about to tell them, hey, you should do that. You have to get them for each zone. And there's 15 MogTomes per zone. Okay, it's not like Stormblood areas or Shadowbringers, where you have these big maps and you spend a considerable amount of time in the big map. Aroma-born is multiple small maps that you kind of go from one to the other and then back to the other one and then back to this one. Unless you're going to tell them, hey, go farm each and every single riding map, it's not worth it. Not for the amount of time they're going to spend on Aroma-born, now that it's been reworked to be even faster. Now for people who want to collect these for the sake of, having the collection, you can do your weekly Allied Sealed Hunt Bill, okay? Don't do the daily ones, the amount of seals they give kinda sucks. But you can do your weekly and eventually you'll have these. If you want to get these even faster, do your Blue Mage. You can earn Allied Seals from Blue Mage. There are much better ways of collecting these if you're a collector than getting them from MogTome. You could be spending those MogTomes on MGP to get your MGP mounts or to prepare for the next one if you're already done. Anyway, let me know what rewards you're most looking forward to getting. Also, feel free to tell me why you think my tier list is wrong. I'm going to get the Decisions Orchestrion, the Iron Dwarf minion, and then farm that MGP so I can buy the Class Strife and Nanimo cards. I will also have a follow-up video on the best ways to farm these. So, I will see you probably tomorrow. Bye bye.